Hello, beautiful butterflies. How y'all doing? Okay, so tonight I want to talk about relationships. And the aspect of relationships that I want to talk about is the trap of tokenism. If you don't know what tokenism is, it is where someone, let's talk about men and women. Say I'm a woman, right? This is my experience. It's where a man gives you tokens to try to trick you into thinking that he's providing for you somehow. For instance, I'm married. I'm on my second marriage. The first time I was married for 18 years, and I became a stay-at-home wife because my husband said he wanted me to be home. I thought that was fine and okay and cool for me to do because when I met him, I was a landlady, and I had three apartments, including the one I lived in, and a storefront. And I was making money on all of those except for the one that I was living in. And soon after we got married, my husband said, okay, I'll collect the rents from the tenants. Because, as people moved out, he was the one that obtained the new tenants. And he was going to be the one to collect the rents. So every morning he left me a piece of money on a kitchen table when he went out to work. And I was so happy. I was staying at home, doing my thing, enjoying my life, spending that money. It wasn't a lot of money. It was a token, right? Just to find out that into it some years, well, we stayed married for 18 years, but it was 4 years before I said this, I don't want to do this no more. So into it, about 2.5 years, I discovered that he wasn't paying my mortgage with the rents he was collecting. And of course, ultimately, I lost that home in foreclosure. And when I say home, I mean 3 apartments and a storefront. Let me say as an aside, I'm not regretting the fact that I don't own that property anymore. I'm perfectly over that. But my point is, the little bit of money he was leaving on the table every morning was a token to placate me so that I stayed in a dream state. Here's another example. I have a person who I considered a friend, and across the course of our 30-year friendship, he would always, express interest in being in a relationship with me, even though we had been in a relationship that was now over. It was over in the first 2 years, but we remained friends for 30 years. And he always liked to do little things like treat me to lunch, treat me to dinner, pay my way if we went to the beach or something like that. And at the end of the day, here 30 years later, I'm realizing that all of those small contributions that he was making to my so-called happiness were what he thought was going to make me think he was providing for me. You're not providing for me. You're buying me lunch once every 3 months. You're taking me to dinner once every 6 months. But to him, he thought that I should think that he was taking good, excellent care of me. He wasn't. And he was pursuing me the whole time and thinking that we should get back together and stomping his foot like, why won't you take me back? I pay for everything. I'm like, I see you 4 times a year. Thanks for paying for everything. But those are small tokens. You want my mind to be mixed up in the idea that you're taking care of me, when my mind actually remembers when we were together and you took care of absolutely nothing. And when we first got together, I was young. As a woman, I wanted to get married. I expressed that. We were together. I threw my entire life in his hands, and he shat in my face. If this was Dubai, I could say he shat in my mouth, really. But that being beside the point, over the ensuing years, he did all of these small little things, thinking that I would think this man really is taking care of me. And guess what? I did think it, because I was in the trap of tokenism. My second husband, shortly after we married, he crashed my car. A $20,000 car that, for some stupid ass reason, I was out of insurance by only 2 days. He took my car keys without permission, and he wrecked my car up by Mondawmin Mall. Now, after he did that, I stayed with him because I loved him. It was a brand new marriage less than 6 months old, for sure. And what he did at that point was walk me to the bus stop so I can go to work, ride the bus downtown with me, ride the bus all the way to the plaza with me, carry my pocketbook from the subway station to the job, and all like that. And I was so impressed. Why? Number one, he didn't have to do that, even though he had crashed my car. He didn't have to do that. But what it did was it tricked my mind into thinking, wow, this guy is really treating me like a gentleman. You know, he's holding my hand as I'm stepping off the bus. He's making sure I don't trip over curbs. He's helping me cross streets and this and that. Tokenism. Nigga, you crashed my car. I don't belong on no bus. I commend you for riding the bus with me, but this is what I mean by tokenism and the trap of tokenism. Tokenism is a trap. Keep your eyes open and make sure you don't fall for it. Because listen, in today's relationship streets, and I'm not on them because I am still married, and on these relationship streets that we're on today, things are getting wild. Men are bugging, saying that they're the prize, when we know that we're the prize. They're saying that a woman has to be compliant and on a man's agenda, else she ain't worth nothing. Saying that she's nothing after she hits the wall and the wall is undefeated. I'm sorry, but I'm 55 years old and I have never hit no walls and I don't plan to. There's no shortage of attention that I could possibly get, and I don't display my body or twerk on people or spend my time in nightclubs or anything like that. I've never hit a wall and I never will. But I think that I'm going to put my foot down and say a few things about how things really are. Do not fall for the tokenism trap. Peace, beautiful butterflies.